the Pan-African Bliss Show with your host, none other than Jody.
Yes, good afternoon,
Angie
family.
Robinson, enough respect, love, respect, and justice for all.
Yes, karibuni sana. Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing amazing. It is exactly 5 minutes to 1 p.m. right here in the 254. And welcome to yet another beautiful episode of the Pan African Bliss Show, where we get to discuss different matters affecting our continent, our people across the world, of course, and how we can bring solutions towards all these conversations. Karibuni, my name is Joby. To all the first time listeners on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, karibuni sana to everyone on the radio, and of course, to this who shall be catching this on a replay rather on Spotify or Spreaker. I hope you guys get to enjoy this. And of course, leave your comments regarding the conversation we shall be having here today, which is very interesting, I bet, as for me, because when you talk about our continent and the people itself, I believe Africa, or other Africans, we're very seen as very poor people. You know, we've been considered very poor. Our continent, at the same time, I'd say, despite the resources that have been stolen, that have been taken away from us, we still actually are considered very poor. But something that doesn't add up is, why would you keep on coming back to a place that is poor? Why do you want to keep on? Why do you want to be involved or be around poor people? We're talking about, as our major conversation, literally our major conversation, which shall be focused on the white people who need to stay in their lane. And I really mean that. They need to stay in their lane. When it comes to Africans, when you go to China, when you go to India, when you go to America, we've seen the racism we've been facing. So you can't tell me when it comes to us, we need to be acting cool. We need to be very inviting, despite all the crimes these people do because they know the white privilege they have. White people right now have gotten citizenship in Ghana, and that is what we shall be talking about. Because how is this happening? We have Africans who are trying to settle in other African countries, like in Kenya. We have some other people from other African countries that have been trying and have been here for so long, have been trying to seek citizenship, but it has been super impossible. So it's quite funny to see that when it comes to white people, they get it easy, but ourselves, our own fellow brothers and sisters, we don't make it easy for them. It is such a shame. That is basically what we shall be talking about, because that really made me mad. It's already making me mad. As I talk about it, we shall be discussing about the white people who have gotten citizenship in Ghana as our major conversation, because so many Africans, of course, are reacting towards this. People are getting shocked, and it's quite a shocking thing. But along that, we shall also be discussing Kenya, which has been labeled as the top, on the top of the list, as the 10 on the top of the list as one of the largest importers of second-hand clothes. Of course, this is a discussion we've had. We've seen countries like Rwanda, they've been able to deal with this, and we shall be checking on how actually Africa, how we need to be educated on these second-hand clothes, because I'll be reading some of the side effects that actually they come with, because we have, of course, they have parasites, majority of them, they come with skin diseases, and we're not taught any of this. And the saddest part is also where majority of these clothes are given in form of donation, but now we've made this also as a business. It is quite also something else we need to be checking on, and also how we can actually start producing our own clothes using our own materials without depending on any mzungu's clothes, leftover underwears, vest that are full of shit for us to dress up on. We shall also be discussing, of course, the incoming president, that is John Mahama, who was, of course, already taken over the seat, that is in Ghana. We shall be discussing also 50, that is 5,600 people who have been killed by the gang violence that is in Haiti. And of course, as we question, what are the troops doing? Because if really this was the situation, or how to handle the gang, what are you doing? Because we're not seeing any positive impact since you walked in the country. We shall also be discussing about the clash going on in Algeria, between Algeria and Mali. And also, last but not least, we shall also be talking about Jimmy Carter, that is the former US president, who, of course, we saw he passed on, or passed away. That was last during the weekend, if I'm not wrong. And we shall be checking also how is it that he was a true friend of Africa, literally. No, he passed on, but he's supposed to visit. Sorry, he's supposed to be visiting Liberia. I confused. There's a former president, the other president who did pass on the other time, right? That is during the weekend. Can't remember the name, but we shall be talking about Jimmy Carter, who is supposed to visit Liberia and Nigeria. And of course, we shall be checking on much more of the conversation and what I have aligned for you. Karibuni sana once again. Hope you guys get to enjoy. I started with an amazing jam that was at the Kule Gold with More Than Enough, one of my favorite jams. I don't know about you, but I'll be taking a short musical break and, of course, coming back with the quote of the day. This is Asake with Sumba. Hope you guys get to enjoy.
Radio, and you're listening to the Pan African Bliss Show with your host, none other than Joey. Andrew Robinson, enough respect, love, respect, and justice for all.
Yes, Karibuni Sana. Hope you guys are doing great. It is literally indeed a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. Just exactly 3 minutes past 1 p.m. Let me know what's the time on your end. And of course, welcome to today's debate. Without wasting much more of the time, of course, I want to start with what is happening in our very own country. A lot of things have been happening in Kenya, especially about the abduction, but that is not what I want to focus on today because that is something that actually is disturbing so many people right now. You walk, you don't know if you're safe, you don't know if you really said something somewhere and you've been seen and you might end up being abducted. So right now, the same majority of Kenyans are walking in fear, because of all these abductions and killings, which the president, of course, is talking about it, but not doing anything about it. And I did speak about our police officers who also are part of literally these big crimes, I'd say, that are happening in our country, because when you go seek help, all they ask for is chai all the goddamn time, and you don't get the services that they're supposed to be giving you, despite giving even the chai. It is quite disappointing. But what is happening in Kenya, it has been labeled as among the top on the top list of the countries actually that are largest importers of second-hand clothes. And when you talk about second-hand clothes again, I'll give a country like Rwanda again round of applause, because Kagame, I'd say, I always love saying Kagame is really a very intelligent, wicked ass person. And pardon my French, literally. Kagame is really smart, but really wicked. Like really smart, because this guy not only has he been able to control, of course, tribalism in his country, he's been able to see also the things that make his country not prosper. And I believe when it comes to our economy, for us to be able to prosper is when we can be able to produce our own stuffs locally without having to depend on other people. And you talk about producing our own things, it could be in so many things. Literally, we have everything in Africa, so we should have, of course, manufacturing industries and all these companies that should make everything easy and create job opportunities for majority of the youths, so that they can be able to stop living on a hand to mouth situation. But of course, Kenya being among the top list, and I see other countries which were there. And of course, we shall be checking also. This is something, of course, we've discussed some time before, and we saw countries like actually Ghana is at the second one. And Ghana, I'll share a video. You see the situation in Ghana when it comes to second-hand clothes and how they are dumped. It is really, really crazy. So we have Kenya as the top list of the country, and they're saying that this is the Africa biggest importers of second-hand clothes. Kenya stands as the first one. We have Ghana as the second one. We have Tanzania as the third one. We have Angola. We have Nigeria. We have Cameroon as the sixth one. We have Mozambique as the seventh one. We have Benin. We have Madagascar. And last but not least, the 10th one is Togo. And if I am to go throughout the old comments just to see a little bit of what Kenyans actually are saying, one of the people says that Kenya we lead in the wrong reasons. Cartel, Kenya we lead in the wrong reasons. I do agree, because right now, of course, our president has been labeled as one of as the top corrupt leaders, literally. So we're leading in literally wrong reasons. That I do agree. But when you talk about the second-hand clothes also and the effects that they come with, skin diseases are the biggest number one biggest effect they suffer from these second-hand clothes. And when I say majority of the people don't know, is because I'd say we're so used to buying these clothes, and some people don't even wash them. They just wear them because you assume it's clean. Number one, because it's coming from a market, you assume it's clean. Some also are dirty. I've said that. We find dirty underwears, you'll find dirty vests, you'll find some really dirty, nasty ass things, literally, which is so bad. Like, why would you donate, even if it's in form of donating clothes? Why would you donate dirty clothes? You know, why people? You're sickening. It's quite really sickening. But I was checking on Google to see some of the side effects of wearing second-hand clothes. Personally, without even checking, I know the skin diseases. I've seen few people actually. Personally, I'm not the type of person, like I was saying the other time. I don't like sharing clothes. Personally, I don't. I don't like sharing clothes. Okay, if I give you something, trust you me. That's how I end that relationship with that cloth. That's it. Don't return it to me. I won't wear it again. I'm gonna even probably make it a duster or something, but I'm not gonna wear it again. I don't believe in sharing clothes. Give me, I give you. No, I don't like that. That is just another level of hygiene that personally I believe should be very well checked on. I've seen in school personally, because of that, of course, so many people or so many students I saw, they had skin diseases, and of course others also end up having maybe some allergic reaction because of probably the person, of course, who was wearing this cloth. And mind you, because we love assuming, and majority of the Africans are ignorant, you assume it's clean, so you just put it on and go to work, and the next minute you find you're developing some really, you know, irritating rashes on your skin, and you wonder what's really happening. You start blaming the food, you start blaming the drinks, you start blaming different things, but it is the clothes you're putting on. So they're saying that actually we have most of these clothes come with parasites, which is very true. I mean, of course, understanding the creation of the white man and who they really are, I don't want to go much deeper in that. We are on YouTube, literally. Parasites are a big part of it, and also some skin diseases. So they're saying that the unwashed second-hand clothes can contain parasites and ectoparasites that can spread skin and hair diseases such as pediculosis and scabies, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And we also have allergic reactions. Of course, they also come with allergic reaction. They're saying even after washing, some allergens may remain in used clothes, and people with allergies or sensitivities should be cautioned and or rather cautious about wearing second-hand clothes, and may want to consult a healthcare professional before going to do so. And also saying to reduce the risk of spreading the pathogens from second-hand clothes, what you can do is wash, iron, and disinfect them. We also have that is washing them by hand wash, or use the gentle cycle in with cold with cold or warm water. Personally, I prefer literally warm water, because I believe what hot water or warm water kills literally all the germs, if I'm not wrong. We also have, they're saying, add some vinegar on the washing process so that it can be easy to deal with all those parasites or any allergic reaction that you might get after. And also they're saying avoid using a dryer. So of course, put the clothes on the sun, which kid says most of the Americans don't do. They don't hang their clothes, but it's an African thing. Like, yo, hang the clothes on the sun, let them dry up, and then the whole diseases will be literally killed. But along that, we also have countries like Ghana, and before Ghana, I want to share, of course, also the Kenya situation, or how most of these people actually feed from these second-hand clothes, because actually this. And we saw also Ghana, the largest, the biggest market, literally, it was burnt down. And if you actually seek most of the details from that market, the the business that was, I believe, that was really really active was clothes, because we saw, of course, it was completely burned down. So it was this second-hand clothes. And like I said, Ghana comes second after Kenya as the largest importers of second-hand clothes. So I want to share quickly of what we have right here, of what is happening, or rather what happens in Kenya, how majority of these people survive. But before we continue, shout out to John Mosquito, Karibu Sana, hope you're doing great. Good afternoon to you, or rather grand rising, hope you're doing amazing. And of course, welcome to today's conversation. Let me know, have you yourself encountered, it is gonna sound maybe crazy, but like, have you encountered, or maybe did you grow up maybe at your young age and understanding, of course, maybe at your young, maybe just let me pose the question like this: at your young age, were you, or did you encounter this kind of situation, wearing second-hand clothes? Because I'd say in Africa it's a norm. Trust me, it has become a norm. It is a norm, because and it comes also to the clothes that we can produce ourselves. I believe it's gonna be super super expensive, because the competition also ain't there.
When Europeans grow out of their clothes or even just get bored of the same pair of jeans, rather than just throwing them into the trash, many donate them to charity or put them in a recycling bin. Now, assuming they will be passed on to people who need them. But what if the clothes people throw away aren't attractive to anyone else either? We take a look at how secondhand clothes are damaging the environment and what is being done to mitigate the effects. CGTN's Daniel Arab Moore reports from Kenya, where many of Europe's unwanted clothes end up.
This is Toy Market in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. Tons of second-hand garments find their way here every month. Some of the clothes come into the country as charity donations, but not all that arrive are handed over to the needy. They are sold here in Toy Market for cash.
Second-hand clothes here in Kenya, they are of good quality, they are cheaper, you can get them at a more reasonable price.
However, the import of these garments is also being blamed for driving the local textile industry out of business, and some say the trade should be banned.
Right now, it looks like taking away secondhand clothes affects maybe people who are within a certain budget. But at the end of the day, I think our textile mills will step up. They'll step up to producing not only textiles that are on the higher end, middle class, and also affordable. They will step up in terms of designs as well.
Kenya imports over 100,000 tons of second-hand clothes annually. Of this, an estimated 35,000 tons are thrown away every year.
I think 50% of the clothes that come in are not clothes that we necessarily want to wear. You know, you might find a nice pair of jeans and a shirt, but half of the other stuff, it's clothes that we can't even wear. What happens? It ends up in the landfill.
Exactly. It's like the underwears. Because trust me, no one is going to buy dirty underwears, sweaty vests. Nobody buys that. Trust me. Like, I've never personally seen. I've gone to the market personally a couple of times, and that's why I'm asking John Mosquito if for him, if he has grown up maybe wearing second-hand clothes or maybe at a young age, did your mom maybe used to purchase this kind of clothes? I'd love to hear from you, John Mosquito, and those who are also listening. But I've seen this as we go to the market. Again, it's a mixture of everything, like she's saying. We have all the dirty underwears, the dirty vests, the dirty shorts it's so dirty. So, like
Your
she's this,
mosquito grew, yeah, your mosquito grew up in England though, so he didn't grow up in Ghana.
I know, I know that, but I'd just love to know because I don't know. In America, don't you guys? Is there no
Hell,
second-hand maybe
hell
market?
no, like hell no, not like a hell no. They got like a secondhand store, yeah, like a not like in Africa, like you see in Ghana, Kenya, in Africa is disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
They do it because it's saying, yeah, this is what you niggas deserve, this is what you niggas get, because you're all sorry and stupid. It's
Mm-hmm.
just this disrespect, dirty underwear and all. No, nobody resell nobody's stinking ass underwear. You crazy Joe?
It is.
That's against the law.
It is disrespectful. I do agree with you because personally I've been disgusted myself when I go to the market. You're trying to pick some t-shirts, maybe something, and then you bump into a dirty unwashed underwear. You're like, why would you do this? Why would you, even if you're donating clothes, why can't you just donate clean clothes? Because majority of these clothes come in form
Because
of donation.
because people are getting rid of the clothes. They don't even know. Some people don't even probably know their clothes. Like me, I never knew clothes I donated ended up in Africa, and people, you guys bought them. People they donate, people throw them away, get them away for free. They thought they just get them away for free. They ain't no, ain't that. Most people don't know that this is a business, Joby.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even touch start going to Africa. I said, what they charging people for this? That shit's supposed to be free because people are giving that shit away for free. They're getting rid of it because they don't want it.
No,
It's, it's like it's like dead people clothes, like clothes you don't use and old worn out. Like I got rid of a whole bunch of clothes some years ago, but cause my kids are all grown up. I had them all in the garage. I said, so I gave them to a bunch of donations. Shit, that shit probably all ended up in Africa. I didn't know
no,
that back then. I didn't know that back then. Shit,
it
I just
is
try to get.
It is sad, but she's trying to explain right here how this, of course, importation of Kenya has been labeled as the the largest in Africa as the top country of the largest importers of second-hand clothes, then followed by Ghana, which is the second one. We have Tanzania as the third one. We have Angola as the fourth one. We have Nigeria as the fifth, Cameroon, Mozambique, Benin, Madagascar, and Togo as the 10th.
I told you it'd be all of Africa because it's disrespect. Your leaders are fucking sorry. It's the leadership in Africa that made. It's like Africa's become like a throwaway continent, Joby. It's like, yeah, get this nasty, raggedy shit, these dirty niggas. Let them have it. That's
It needs
what it
to
is, Joby.
stop. It needs to stop, and this is why
Yeah.
my
That's why
topic.
Kagame stopped it.
It needs to stop. Why people feel so privileged, man, and this is
Yes.
sickening. It needs to stop.
Yes,
This
it's
needs to
sickening, Joby.
stop.
That's why Kagame stopped it. You got to stop it. And white people want you because since it's such a big business preying on Africans. The Europeans admit if you try to stop it, they'll try to destroy your market.
Exactly.
And now the funny part about it, African was the one that had textiles before Europe. Europe stole Africa's textile business when they invaded. That's what makes it so crazy.
Nothing is impossible if Rwanda was able to do it. Because I remember the last time I was talking about second-hand clothes, I showed the literally how they have been able to create so many job opportunities because of them now producing their own
Your own
clothes.
clothes, exactly what you're supposed to do. You're not
And
supposed to let nobody come into your market, Joe, and destroy your own market. But the puppets have allowed it because they get all get what kickbacks. They all get pride. Oh, I get my little piece of. I'm the big head nigga. Give me a little piece of the money. They don't give a shit about the countries, Joe. That's why they're there.
exactly, if Rwanda was able to adapt this, and of course also the people have adapted, and you make the, because what she's trying to say here is that those what when you talk about the second-hand clothes, people will go or opt for that because they're cheap,
Cheap.
affordable. When it comes to the literally the locally produced clothes, the price to majority of the people is not adding
Well,
up, so they'd rather go to the second-hand clothes
and
again.
clothes.
Which of course, if we don't make this like, if we don't try make it a thing, where we need to stop this importation of these clothes, then we're never going to be taken serious. And of course, this is why we're going to
Of
have
course
this
not. It's about self-respect, Joe. But like they in Kagame said, this. But this is disrespectful, Joby. Do you respect yourself as a human being, Joby? Then
we
you'll
do
put a
not.
stop. Then you'll put a stop to that.
Well, let me listen to what
We don't have recycling capacity, so it ends up getting.
that's another problem. So we don't even have
Of course,
recycling capacities. We
of course,
dump
they
them
know that.
on everywhere. We just dumped, because I'm about to share another video. If you look at Ghana is even, this is
Ghana,
crazy.
Getting
Ghana's
tossed
worse.
all.
Ghana's got all kind of computers and garbage and shit dumped every fucking where because it's Africa and the African man is a weakling. The African man is a moron. I'm gonna keep it honest. African man is a moron. He's a weakling, and so that's why he's dominated. And that's the fact, whether you like it or not, Joe. That's why it happens. Whether you like to understand that or not,
All
I
over the
make you feel
place.
a certain type of way, but that's it.
Hmm. Let's see more.
Here in Kibera, one of Africa's largest slums and home to approximately 1 million people, many of the imported clothes end up not in wardrobes, but in waterways and patches of wasteland.
The only
Yeah,
thing
shit is
the government
everywhere.
could help us with is only cleaning this river, bringing a project that will last for long for cleaning this river and putting for us dumping sites where people can come and dump the garbage, not in the river.
The river here is filled with garbage, leaving residents
Garbage.
suffering the
God damn.
consequences of inadequate drainage systems and a lack of waste collection services. But there are some rays of hope. Larry Dwayne, an active member of Slam Going Green and Clean, is using his music to raise awareness in his local community.
Music is not enough. I'm so sorry. Music ain't enough to make
Your
it.
your music, yeah, that's the whole thing. The dumbass African shit against black people. Just black people. I'm gonna sing a song about it. You singing a song about shit don't change shit. I'm bringing my music and my guitar and sing. Look at all the trash. Yeah, yeah. Have some goofy Jamaican tune or something. Hey, goofy nigga, we need action, not your goddamn dumbass music.
Hmm.
Crazy.
Okay, so let me share this next one is of Ghana. You see the situation. If you the talk is all the same because they are cheap. This is why we'd rather opt for this. This is my daily bread. This is where I get my money. It's crazy.
An estimated 20 million people are thought to earn their livelihoods in the global waste industry, collecting, disposing, repairing, or repurposing a wide range of materials and products.
The
costs and consequences of handling waste are borne far more heavily in developing nations. In his previous story, Fred DeSam Lazaro reported on the impact of used car and electronic waste imports in Ghana. Today,
and this is what happens when you have the psychopathic Europeans who have dominated the world. This is them. They'll blame you. This is their policies while your countries are all fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Because we have nowhere in the States, in China, in
hell no.
India,
hell no.
That's another level of. I can't talk about Indians no more after Monday show, so I don't know about that. But,
hey, did you ask Irritan about them about how the Indians fuck a lizard?
No, I forgot. I'm gonna ask that this application.
I told her yesterday you was gonna ask her. You never asked her. All right.
I'll ask her today.
Partnership with the Pulitzer Center.
If you've ever wondered where most of the clothes you took to the thrift store go once they've been picked over, this
I
is
never
one
knew
likely
that.
destination.
Exactly. I never knew. But I did. I did. How these Africans? I was checking how these Africans got all these damn American sports jerseys and sports teams. They don't look at this shit on their cheap. How they get all these sports jerseys? I didn't know it was a business to take all that old shit over there. And then I always said, how these Africans always look all fucked up. You never know what the weather is. If somebody might have a coat or have a short sleeve and the clothes look all disheveled. I didn't know it was that secondhand shit. That old, the raggedy shit. I said, why do everybody look all raggedy and shit? What's this about? I said, oh man, this is despicable. Go ahead, Joe.
In Ghana's capital, Accra. I got here at 6 on a Saturday morning and business was already in full swing. As she's done for years, Lizzie Nalturi snipped open a bale of denim jeans. It was fresh off the boat, but a good part of the pile, she said, way beyond well worn.
All this you are seeing here is trash.
Is it torn? Is it to the face?
Yes.
What is it?
It's torn.
And if I got all kind of doo-doo, lady, you're an African. They don't give a fuck about you. And they think, and you're a moron. They say, take these doo-doo ass clothes, ship to your stupid ass, let your dumb ass people wear them.
That's what I was at the beginning of the show, where I can see that most of these clothes come with parasites. And of course, you know why people have what they have, the skin diseases and all that. Literally, it's crazy. Africans need to be educated.
Nobody
exactly.
It's pure lottery. Vendors don't know exactly what they'll find in the bundles they buy from importers of used garments.
Are there some good days and some bad days, or
they're all the same?
Joyce Asiama is sorting through her own morning pile.
They're all bad.
All bad?
Yes. Look at the colors. It's too black. It's not good. They like the bright colors.
They're all throwing away clothes, lady. They're throwing away clothes, lady. They're not going to be good clothes, lady. As like I told you, this is the educational level of the African. That's why you're seen as a moron, as an idiot. These are people's shit they don't want. It's garbage. You're putting on people's garbage and walking around with garbage. And Joby said, and the goddamn disease that's on that shit. That's your fucking mind. Your country shouldn't even allow that shit in the country. You burn that shit and tell you, hey, don't bring that shit back in my country. You keep that shit in England. Keep that shit in America, Denmark, Germany. Keep that shit there. Let your bums and your homeless people wear that shit.
To reduce the price.
You have to reduce the price.
I have to reduce the price. I'm making money.
You're looking for stretch waste.
I'm making the money off of garbage.
Some days, Nalturi says she discards up to a half of these clothes.
Throw it to the dustbin.
throw it in the dustbin.
Yes.
Do you know what happens to it from the dustbin?
Well, sometimes people will go and use it to set fire.
As fuel.
Yeah,
You shouldn't be selling people fucking nasty ass
Fuel
clothes
for some of
anyway.
the fires at a vast dump site where electronic waste is incinerated to recover metals like copper. But much of the textile waste lands up in lagoons and waterways leading into the Atlantic Ocean, which sends a lot of it right back to shore.
The biggest problem we have is rubbish.
34-year-old fisherman Rahman Bachwaye told us the nets cast from boats here gather a lot of rubbish alongside fish.
It's all in your food.
Well, now we are starting
The fish eat that shit. That's why you got these diseases.
It's sad, but I won't wind up with that whole video. If you'd love to see much more, kindly let me know, I'll share it. But literally, Africans, we need to be educated. We, as the people, we need to be educated about what we're dealing with, because the presidents know, like I said, if Kagame could do it, so could the rest do it. They just choose not to. They just want Africans to remain in these situations, always of, again, looking as beggars. We're just always begging.
Exactly.
Everything. We have literally everything. We just need to create these companies that can create job opportunities and make everything very possible, and start the competition even with other countries. Like, we're doing this. What can we get from you? What can we, we start trading. So we need to be educated. The problem, I think, and I believe it's all on us. Like I said, even majority of these people, or us, when you go to buy the clothes, personally, I used to have that behavior until I learned about the skin disease. I used to just buy a cloth, put it on. Buy a cloth, put it on.
Damn.
I know I'm guilty. Literally, I'm guilty as child, but I came to understand later. That's when I think I was in primary. Then I started learning now about skin disease. That's when I was cautioned about never sharing clothes. That's what I was saying. If I give you even a sweater or a top, never return it. That's it. I'm done. That relationship with that cloth is over. Keep it to yourself. I don't want to wear your sweat again. You already done. Wore my t-shirt, whatever. I don't want to do that again. I learned about skin disease
Not even that, Joby, because now most of the fabrics that they make you guys to get are even bad because it's mostly polyester. Polyester is oil, Joby. It's not cotton. Cotton is mostly made in Africa with natural fabrics that allow your body to breathe. I want you to look this up. Say it's polyester. Say it's polyester oil based. They make clothes out of oil, Joby. That's dangerous. Look, the skin disease. This is dangerous to your whole body. Are they making fabrics, or say it's polyester made out of oil, or it's polyester fabrics oil based? And yeah, they're not even making real clothes no more. It's out of oil.
So they're saying that yes, polyester is oil based.
You went oil, Joby. So you went to the whole body's goddamn full of disease. It's oil. Just like the synthetic, they took everything and made it garbage. Like the medicine is oil, your clothes is where it's oil. You're draped in oil.
It's sad. We need to be educated again. That's all I'm gonna say, because it's all upon us as the people. We need to understand the disrespect we face as people, and we need to stop accepting that disrespect. But on to the next one. As we move on from that, we also have what is happening, of course, in Algeria and Mali, who both countries are having a clash over the security from both ends. They're saying that the tension are escalating between Algeria and Mali over allegations of interference of Algiers in Mali's internal affairs.
Because those terrorists come down from the white Muslim countries in North Africa. That's where they come from. They're coming into Mali. And you Negroes should never accepted that goofy religion called Islam. That's what you're dealing with. Go ahead.
They say that the rift was sparked by comments from Algeria's foreign minister, Hamid Taf, opposing Mali's plan to reclassify certain northern separatist groups, including signatories of the 2015 Algeria's agreement. And as terrorist organization, Taf emphasizes that these groups should remain key interlocutors in peace negotiations, and instead that military solution is not.
See, that's the white Arab trying to break your country. You call them all terrorists and you wipe their ass out. because that's what they are. See, these are the white Arabs that have taken over your land in northern Africa, but the rest of the land is southern. That's always been a scam. But Gaddafi no good ass. See, shout out to a brother who put it together with Gaddafi and on TikTok. I love that video, brother. All these dumbass Africans always screaming about Gaddafi because they're stupid. Gaddafi was never there to help you. Exactly. He wanted to put Arabs in charge of Africa. To disable the white man and then put the white Arab in charge of the shit. That's what I tried to teach here time with that moron she had on Lynn Googie show. Because all these goddamn Africans are still stupid in the head. Hey brother, what about the Africa? These white people that you call Africans are not Africans, morons. The white Arabs who have invaded the land. You need to get educated with this, and they're not your friends. They've always been your enemies. That's why you got white Arab countries called Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Egypt. Those lands were stolen from you. Tunisia. When I told Eric on Monday when he had that Tunisian guy on the truck, I said, he's not your buddy. The Tunisians were kicking out black people, Eric, huh? Then Googie's a moron. I hate to say she's one of the easily duped ass Africans. Hey, brother, let's talk about Africa. You got to stop that shit as African people. You got to grow up. So this is what Joey's about to show. The Algerians want to be able to control. Remember, Africans, they want to be able to control it by telling don't kill off these other terrorists and bringing them to the negotiating table. No, they're not. I'm negotiating a bullet in their head. Go ahead, Joey.
Exactly. So they're also saying that Mali, however, perceives these statements as an intrusion on its
It is.
Yes, it is. And I feel like that is them still trying to figure out how they can break Mali again, Niger, and Burkina Faso.
Exactly, Joey. They want to balkanize it. Exactly.
They're trying every means and ways to use even other countries to come and just cause trouble for no reason, because Mali and Niger.
Oh, it is a reason. I want to balkanize it so I can control it. There's a reason. It's not for no reason. I want to balkanize it so I can get the resource out of it and leave you niggas in poverty. That's the reason.
On this other end, we also have Haiti, where the UN is confirming 5,600 people are being killed by the gang. The question is, what are our troops doing? The Kenyan troops, the Benin troops, the Jamaican troops. I thought they went to solve the situation, calm the situation down.
Well, Jamaica left.
Oh, Jamaica left? I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Them cowardly niggas said, I'm out.
Leave Jamaicans alone.
They said we got to go back and listen to reggae. Damn, we got to be fucking over.
A country which has seen violence rise dramatically in the last few years. The number of killings increased by more than 20% compared with all of 2023, according to the UN Human Rights Office. It's a situation which won't be going away anytime soon.
At least 5,601 people were killed in Haiti last year as a result of violence by armed gangs. This is an increase of over 1,000 people compared to the total number of people killed.
This is nothing about it. This is all fake. This is all fake. They know to it. The cats with the small hats with the white people. They went back in and spun the steal. They're stealing. See, I want you guys to understand how the hustle works. White people come in with their fake bullshit. They'll never tell you what. Oh, why is Haiti so fucked up? Is it the voodoo? All that dumb shit? No. It's you white people who came in and started stealing the resources and destabilizing countries like you always do. Haiti wasn't fucked up like this 100 years ago when they kicked your white asses out of there. And like dumb Africans, they were paying France for being free. The idea you pay somebody not to enslave you, which is stupid. Another thing dumbass Africans do. So they went back in. The U.S. went back in. This never in your white people history books. U.S. went back and stole their money, stole their gold, this is a fact, and then put a puppet in there and destabilize it for its benefit. So I want Joey to look this up. If Haiti's so bad as this, why does Haiti got the biggest, Joey will say, why do we got these U.S. embassies in our country? Because they're for the CIA to destabilize and steal the resources. So Joey can look up, why does Haiti, a poor country, got got the biggest U.S. embassy in the Western Hemisphere in there. Because Haiti's rich, goddammit. It's just that the Africans that live there not getting no money. The white man is stealing out of there. That's what's going on. And you got a goddamn small hat controls the fucking the damn shipping and imports that come in and out of that country. I got white people in small hats controlling an African nation in the Caribbean. That's what's going on. It ain't that the Haitians are fucked up. You got the same parasites parasiting on a rich country, stealing the resources. Since they don't know the media, all these Haitians are fucked up. There's roaming gangs, and not that you've stolen all the wealth out the country. Not that you've done that. Same shit you did in Africa, copy and paste. Same shit you see in the Congo, same shit you see in Nigeria. I mean, same thing you see in Nigeria, same thing you see in fucking Haiti. Same shit you see in Jamaica. Copy and fucking paste. But on a smaller scale, you see the same thing in Venezuela. Same shit. White people come steal and they say, oh, look at you poor fucked up bastards. Why you're so fucked up? Why they come up with their military and steal all your shit? Pull this up real quick before we hear this stupid white man talk about nothing. Let's see, say does Haiti have the biggest U.S. embassy in the Western Hemisphere? Why would they have the biggest embassy? Because that's where the CIA and the military's at to come in and steal shit. That's how they steal shit out of there. Most of these dumbass white Americans don't know that.
Which country is the biggest dictator in the world? Okay.
Says the biggest U.S. embassy in the Western Hemisphere in Haiti.
Well, they're not really pure details about that.
It's Google. Yeah, see, Google's not telling us that no more. See, you really can't even use Google's garbage. Google just said, oh, we're going to stop. We're going to go back to free speech. That's a lie. If anybody believes that bullshit, you crazy. The search engines are used. Also, you can search for knowledge. Not no more. Because everything is propaganda for the people that run this planet. But the answer to that question is yes. The biggest U.S. embassy in the Western Hemisphere is in little Haiti. Why? Because that's where you take resources, put them in the embassy, and you airport them out of there. That's why. And leave the Africans there impoverished and fucked up and in turmoil. That's why. That's what's happening. If you understand geopolitics, everywhere they go. That's why I told you, Syria does not exist no more. It's been balkanized. It's broken up. And who's in there stealing the resources? The same usual suspects. Same people. Same people.
So of course, these troops again, they need to come back to their country. The Kenyan troops have been complaining not being paid for the last.
Not getting paid because they knew Ruto's a moron. You know Africans are stupid. We'll get you goofy niggas, even though it's race. We'll get you dumb niggas to work for white people, oppressing your own people.
Very well educated, and it goes back to literally we need to be educated about everything, because understanding again and thank you for your explaining it very well when you made me understand all these missions being solved, the wars with the you guys go to fight. It's nothing to do with the people. It's always about the people with the power, of course, because
not the resources, Joe.
Want to keep control, of course, the resources, and now they want to
look this up, Joby, real quick. The famous General Carr. I want you to look this up real quick on Google. Google's not gonna hide this at least. So look to the say famous Marine General, Marine, Marine Corps, like I was the famous Marine General Smedley Butler book, War is a Racket. War is a racket. We're going to teach you about Smedley Butler.
War is a?
War is a racket. R-A-C-K-E-T, racket. Means it's a scam, Joe. They don't go to war to fight no enemy. They go to make money. It's a racket. So as a general, Smedley Butler, they wanted to overthrow the same cats with the hats, wanted to overthrow the government. There he is. So it came to Smedley Butler, who was the most. There's a movie about him too. I let's play the video. I need to go. So Smedley Butler was. The cats came to Smedley Butler in the 1930s. Said, we're going to overthrow. We want you to overthrow the United States government, and we're going to put you in as the dictator. And Smedley Butler said, "Yeah, you're going to do what?" See, at that time, they didn't know Smedley Butler already realized all the time he was sitting in the war, it was all fake and phony. They were there to steal people's shit to make the bankers rich. All these wars about bankers wars, guys. The cats with the hats. So they came to Smedley Butler since he was the most popular general in America. Say, Smedley, we're going to use you to overthrow the president and make you the dictator of America. We're going to use you. They didn't know Smedley Butler was going back and snitch on their ass because he didn't want America to be destroyed by these bankers, by these jades. So they came to, I'm sure it's going to say in Joey's video, Smedley Butler went to President Roosevelt, who was already controlled by the jades. And he told him, hey, hey, Franklin, President Roosevelt, they want me to overthrow your ass. And so he told him, and Franklin, and that's how you know the president doesn't have power, guys. He told Franklin Roosevelt, the president back then, president didn't do a goddamn thing, didn't arrest nobody because he knew he didn't have the power. They stopped what they were going to do, but Franklin never arrested no Rothschilds or none of them because he didn't have the power. He shut his fucking mouth, and this was a secret until Smedley put it in his book. Go ahead, Joby. And Smedley Butler was the one who went to Haiti, what Joby's talking about. And when Haiti's all fucked up, Smedley Butler went to Haiti. He one of the people that went in there. Go ahead, Joby.
I had a whole lot of people speak of you as tramp. By God, they didn't speak of you as tramps in 1917 and 18. No. Let me tell you something. I've been all over the world. I've seen you fellas on the streets in Washington. There isn't this well-behaved group of citizens in the world that's sitting right in this camp. Take it from me. This is the greatest demonstration of Americanism we've ever had. Pure Americanism. Willing to take this beating as you've
taken. Okay, pause. So let me put some context in. So this is after World War I when the American government didn't pay its military soldiers, the veterans. The veterans have not been paid. And so at this time, the veterans are all in because they were all being homeless. At this time, the American government, the economy, fell apart. This is the Great Depression after 1929. And so the veterans were asking for their pay that they never got. And the government said, fuck you bastards, we're not paying you shit after you fought in that war in World War I. See, remember, this before World War II. All these wars are fake. They didn't know in about another 8 years there'll be another goddamn war by the same people starting the same bullshit. So they had not got paid. They said, hey, we want our money. We're sitting there where we're all homeless. And so they went to Washington to try to get the money, and they all got murdered. The government all came out and blew their fucking heads away. This is the camp where they're talking, because they never got paid for fighting in World War I. They said, we need our money. We're broke. The government said, fuck that. Suck on oranges, you motherfuckers. So black people because black people knew we wasn't getting paid for shit. We're black. But this is what they did to white people. You white people ain't getting shit. Shut up. Go ahead, Joby.
Stand right steady. You keep every law. And why in the hell shouldn't? Who in the hell has done all the bleeding for this country and for this law and this Constitution anyhow but you fellas?
Many Marines have demonstrated their courage on the battlefield in many wars. But Smedley Butler displayed a courage that is unprecedented in U.S. history. By maintaining his oath to the Constitution, he became the sworn enemy of the very people he fought for, becoming an integrated hero.
He didn't know that. He became the very enemy of the people he fought for. Because as he got older, he's an old man, but he was young. He said, "Why am I going to all these wars? We're not fighting wars for no freedom. We're stealing people's shit. We're going in." He said, "Wow, this is the bankers." Yes, the bankers. Every war is the bankers. So he started understanding he was going to steal people's resources and making other people rich and stealing from the people of that country. That's what's going on in Africa. That's why Africans are poor, guys. That's why Africans are poor. Go ahead, Joe.
That's why we have the embassies and all that.
Yes,
twice
Joe.
decorated with the Medal of Honor. How did he display even greater courage and preserve the U.S. Constitution, preventing a coup, installing a military dictatorship?
They wanted to put him as a dictator.
Why was he hated by the large captains of industry and politicians alike?
Hello, I'm Colin Heaton, former soldier, Marine Corps Scout Sniper, history professor, historian, book author.
I was a Marine Corps Sniper
these
too.
questions and other issues on this segment of Forgotten History.
It's not forgotten. They don't want to tell. It's never told.
Born on July 30th, 1881, Major General Smedley Butler was the eldest son of a Quaker family from West Chester, Pennsylvania. Butler came from a line of civil servicemen. His father, Thomas Butler, was a Republican representative for the state of Pennsylvania in Congress, and his maternal grandfather, Smedley Darlington, was also a Republican congressman. Butler served in several major world conflicts, including the Spanish-American War, the Boxer Rebellion, the Philippine-American War, and World War I. He had been appointed commanding officer of the Gendarmerie during the 1915 to 1934 United States occupation of Haiti. During his term of service,
I told you, he went to Haiti. That's when he said, "This is bullshit." Exactly. So I wanted to tie to this so Joby knows history about Haiti and why Haiti's fucked up today, 100 years later, because it's about stealing, Joby. It's a racket. Go ahead, Joby.
For his bravery and relentless leadership in battle, and he was awarded with several distinctions, including 2 Medals of Honor. The first was for his actions at Veracruz, Mexico, on April 22, 1914, and the second for his actions on November 17, 1915, in Haiti. For his actions as a 37-year-old brigadier general in France during World War I, he was awarded an Army Distinguished Service Medal, the Marine Corps Brevet Medal, a Navy Distinguished Service Medal, and the French Order of the Black Star, akin to a knighthood. From 1924 to 1925, he was appointed as the Philadelphia Director of Public Safety. As the mayor, W. Freeland Kendrick wanted a military man to root out police corruption and attack organized crime related to prohibition, gambling, and money laundering. After the short-term position was completed, Butler took time to reflect. He became disillusioned with the many wars America had fought on behalf of big business interests. His insights provoked great controversy and political retaliation after he published his book on the subject, putting his experiences and beliefs out to the public. After Butler retired from the U.S. Marine Corps in October 1931, he made a nationwide tour in the early 1930s, giving his speech, "War is a Racket." The speech was so well received that he wrote a longer version as a short book published in 1935. His work was considered in Reader's Digest as a book supplement, which helped popularize his message. Butler discussed how business interests commercially benefit from warfare at the expense of the soldier and citizen. Butler recommended the following 3 steps to disrupt the war racket to save American lives in the future. Making war unprofitable, Butler suggested that the means for war should be conscripted before those who would fight the war. Quote, "It can be smashed effectively only by taking the profit out of war. The only way to smash this racket is to conscript capital and industry and labor before the nation's manhood can be conscripted." End quote. He had another quote that was quite substantial. Quote, "Let the officers and the directors and the high-powered executives of our armament factories and our steel companies and our munitions makers and our shipbuilders and our airplane builders and the manufacturers of all things that provide profit in wartime, as well as the bankers and the speculators, be conscripted."
It's the bankers.
To get
Let them
$30
go
a
fight.
month, the same
That's
wage
right.
as
Let
the
them
lads
go.
in the
Let them
trenches.
go fight. Let them go fight the war. let these banker motherfuckers, who we know are a certain persuasion, we're on YouTube right now, so I can't say it, a certain persuasion, let them go fight these wars. It would never be another motherfucking war. They get other people to go die so they can steal money out of countries, guys. That was about. Go ahead, Joby.
Another quote. The trouble with America is that when the dollar only earns 6% over here, then it gets restless and goes overseas to get 100%. Then the flag follows the dollar and the soldiers follow the flag, end quote. Butler then delved even deeper into the evils of warfare to support corporate profit. His main insights came to light after President Woodrow Wilson threw the United States into World War I to protect the business
Pause it. Now remember, that's this traitor bastard, this racist ass motherfucker right here. Racist as shit. Now remember, the Rothschilds installed this no good fucking moronic ass bastard. He the one budgeted the fake dollar. 1913, Jekyll, I just passed Jekyll Island too. That's in Georgia. I just passed the island where they created the fake US dollar. By installing this motherfucking puppet here. Woodrow Wilson, this despicable ass motherfucker. See, everybody's starting to know now how despicable this motherfucker was. But their movies made him a hero. Remember, because the cats own the movies. They made him a hero. This despicable ass no good puppet here. Woodrow Wilson. This motherfucking moron. This despicable fucking moron. That's where they created the Rothschild and Rockefeller fake money system. The fake dollar was created when they put this motherfucker in. That's why he was put in power. This fucking puppet here. So, Bentley Butler knew that, but he knew most Americans were not educated enough to know. So we didn't know none of this like until 80, 90 years later, after this motherfucker was dead. Now, see, knowledge takes a long time to catch up. Because you were never taught in school about this no good bastard. You were taught he was good. He was a great president. In World War I, you know, he was made to give him World War I for profit, to make money. Because at the World War I, remember, as I told Joby, that's when they destroyed all. The Rothschilds wanted to get rid of all the remaining kings and queens in Europe. Except for the British ones. They said, we'll keep the British under control. That's when they got rid of Austria, Germany, got rid of goddamn Russia. They killed the Russian president. That was all a Rothschild plan by putting this moron in. And remember, 1917, Americans didn't want to go to war. So they did what we told Joby again, a false flag, like they did with the terrorism shit, and Joby talked about Monday. So they staged a false flag, and especially back then it was easy. They didn't have the internet, they didn't have social media. So they America blew up his own boat and said, oh, the Germans did it. We gotta go to war. But it was a false flag. It was a lie. It was a lie. And all wars that America's been in have been lies. Because it's about racket, about money, about stealing, about taking for corporations, as Spentley's talking about here. And he knew this motherfucker right here was a puppet. Go ahead, Joby.
His financial and political benefactors. Quote, I helped in the raping of half a dozen Central American republics for the benefit of Wall Street. The record of racketeering is long. Looking back on it, I feel I might have even given Wall Street means hints.
Wall Street means the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the people that own the banks. The raping of their, going back in to steal their shit. You take the military in there. That's why I told Africa must build a real military. You must build a real military because they're coming to see you. You must educate your children and you must build a real military. And you must get rid of that tribal shit. Because you got the wealth. That's for all the shit, the terrorism in Mali, Kenya, Nigeria, because you're wealthy. Go ahead, Joe.
The best he could do was to operate his racket in 3 city districts. We Marines operated on 3 continents.
Worldwide.
I spent 33 years in the Marines, most of my time being a high-class muscle man for big business, for Wall Street and the bankers. In short, I was a racketeer for capitalism, end quote. Smedley Butler also believed that acts of war should be decided by those who fight it. He also suggested that Congress pass a limited referendum to determine if the war is to be fought, is it worth it to the nation as a whole, and is it in the nation's best interest? He also believed that limitations should be imposed, limiting militaries to self-defense. For the United States, Butler recommended that the Navy be limited by law,
They were never gonna do
operating
that.
200 miles of the coastline, and the Army restricted to the territorial limits of the country, ensuring that war, if fought, can never be one of aggression, only defense. In an introduction to the Reader's Digest version of his book, correspondent Lowell Thomas praised Butler's moral as well as physical courage. Thomas had written Smedley Butler's oral autobiography. It contains this summary, quote, "War is a racket. It always has been. It is possibly the oldest, easily the most profitable, surely the most vicious. It is the only one international in scope. It is the only one in which the profits are reckoned in dollars and the losses in lives. A racket is best described, I believe, as something that is not what it seems to the majority of the people. Only a small inside group knows what it is about.
Know what's going on.
It is conducted for the benefit of the very few at the expense of the very many. Out of war, a few people make huge fortunes," end quote. Butler confessed that during his decades of service in the Marine Corps, quote, "I helped make Mexico, especially Tampico, safe for American oil interests in 1914. I helped make Haiti and Cuba a decent place for the National Citibank boys to collect revenues in. I
Remember
helped the
Citibank?
raping of a half a dozen Central
So he
American..."
knows Haiti. Haiti's still controlled by Citibank. Citibank's the Rockefellers. They went to Haiti. What you see happening to Haiti today is because they went into. They've been stealing out of Haiti, guys. But that in your media, they tell you, "Oh, look at Haiti. Oh, look at these wretched ass niggas. Oh, it's voodoo. They turned away from Jesus. Oh, all that propaganda shit is because they're stealing out of there." Go ahead.
Republics for the benefits of Wall Street. The record of racketeering is long. I helped purify Nicaragua for the International Banking House of Brown Brothers in 1909 to 1912. Where have I heard that name before?
It's always the bankers,
The
guys.
Dominican Republic for American sugar interests in 1916. In China, I helped see to it that Standard Oil
Box Republic
went its way unmolested.
Pause that. We know Standard Oil, Joe. Look, Standard Oil is what? Rockefellers. That's why the Rockefellers in Nigeria and the Rothschilds in Nigeria controlling their shit, the money. So he went to China to shoot these Chinese motherfuckers in the head because of Rockefeller. That shit is gonna belong to me, not to them. You understand what war is about now? Understand why they broke Syria, Libya, why they're in Africa with terrorist groups? Money. Go ahead, Joe.
Butler's book and revelations were explosive, and the large corporations that benefited most from global conflict immediately had their knives out for him. He was lured into a political ambush by the leadership of the American Legion, but he saw through it. Butler was well known for his advocacy for veterans' rights and was a vocal opponent of how the government treated veterans. He was especially incensed after the Washington Bonus Army fiasco in 1932, which he opposed. There were many in business and industry who felt that the White House, principally Presidents Calvin Coolidge and Herbert Hoover, and later Franklin D. Roosevelt, were restricting big business and they wanted their monopolies. This was especially true of the feelings they held towards Roosevelt for his taking the U.S. off the gold standard and his starting to lean towards eliminating business with Nazi Germany and Japan due to their political positions. Leaving the gold standard was a major problem for many high-ranking officials, businessmen and bankers in 1933. Although there were several recognized issues with money backed by gold, such as dependency on gold production and short-term price instability.
Because the world gold is in Africa. The world gold is in Africa. That's why I gotta get these dirty niggas in poverty, give them fucked up clothing, and put these terrorism in there. Because real money is gold. These dumb niggas don't know it. They're too stupid. As Joby said, we'll dig gold, go get my little illicit brew and get drunk. get $2 while I get that while the shit's worth $10,000. Give me $2. That's right. That's why I got school fees to keep you Africans as morons. Go ahead, Joby.
Loans would not be paid back in full by the president's new policies. Butler saw these issues no different from Woodrow Wilson declaring war against Imperial Germany and Austria-Hungary in 1917.
Yeah, well,
Because if the Allies lost that war, billions of dollars would be lost that were held in European banks, and Wilson owed a lot of political favors. In addition, FDR's social projects, such as the Tennessee Valley Authority Act of 1933, smacked of communist-style socialism and required the wealthy businessmen to compete with the federal government on bidding their projects. If there were any
They like
at
that.
all. The
So what
plan
this
was to
was,
bring
they
Butler
got
in.
mad. They wanted to see. They gonna tell you when Butler was asked to overthrow Roosevelt. What Roosevelt did was really good, and Roosevelt was from their class. Roosevelt's a multi-millionaire, but he said we must do something, and the country's gonna overthrow us. So what he said, we're gonna bring electricity to everybody. Of course, the businesses didn't like that. It's the same shit you got going on in Kenya right now. Why they want the electric grid. Start the private-public partnership bullshit, which means they steal your shit. So Roosevelt said we're gonna take this part of the country that's still sitting in the dark, and we're gonna light it up. The government's gonna do it for free. We're gonna come in and put lights in Tennessee, Kentucky, all these southern states that are poor, right? The southern states. And so they said, hell no, the business is not gonna make any money. We're gonna overthrow this motherfucking president. Bob Charles said, we're gonna overthrow this motherfucker. You crazy? You ain't giving away shit for free. Fuck that. We want money. Are you crazy? You're not getting it. And remember, because Tesla wanted to give away electricity to the world for free. And JP Morgan said, you out your motherfucking mind. What? You crazy? The answer is no. So the parasitical class, guys, who run the world, have been making money off of everybody's back and don't do shit. They control the militaries of the planet to rape the world's resources. Go ahead, Joby. It's almost done.
To lead a 500,000-man private army and lead a peaceful march into Washington, D.C. in a show of force to replace Roosevelt in favor of a nationalist government run by the military, leaving FDR as a figurehead. Knowing that this was perhaps the most serious violation of the U.S. Constitution, Butler declined, and he was hauled into McCormick-Dixon congressional committees on un-American activity in November 1934. Ironically, those whom Butler accused of plotting to overthrow the government called him a liar. Those he accused included the DuPont and Rockefeller families, Prescott Bush,
DuPont, Rockefeller, the Bush family. Remember, the Bush family became presidents later. It's all the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPont, all what you call the Illuminati families. All of them said, we're going to use Smedley Butler to overthrow the United States. We're going to overthrow this shit. So how does the people that overthrow the country want to become president? Because by then they took it over. I told you, America's always, if I told you there's no right wing or left wing, all presidents now are puppets. They're installed. Back then they were still kind of free because they just got their banking system in. So they didn't have complete control yet. They do now. So you see the same family, the Bush family, his daddy became president, and then his son became president. Right before Obama, all these fake motherfuckers, but you're not told none of this history because they were never prosecuted. You never knew none of this. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, tried to overthrow the country. They got control of it now. They own the motherfucker now. When they blew John F. Kennedy's head off, they own the world. And and at that time they were going into China. At the same time, this was going on and creating China. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds were going into China and creating that bullshit. Overthrowing the emperor, the king of China. Get your ass out of here. We're taking this shit over. See, you never taught none of this real history. Go ahead, Joe.
Heir to the Singer's sewing machine fortune, Gerald C. McGuire, a bond salesman, and Robert Doyle. McGuire and Doyle were prominent members of the American Legion and had amassed a fortune in their Legion account that was not used to help veterans. Instead, they were using that money to try and organize an army of veterans that would serve their purposes, and they had help. from Bush and others. Butler gave his testimony and provided his evidence, including the testimony and written notes of Philadelphia record writer Paul Comley French, who agreed to meet with McGuire as well. During this meeting, McGuire told French that he believed a fascist state was the only answer for America, and that Smedley was the ideal leader because he could organize 1 million men overnight. Later, it was stated that everything Butler testified to under oath was verified to be accurate, but Butler had the evidence. Quickly becoming known as the White House coup and the Wall Street putsch, many major news sources owned by these big business groups derided Butler's claims.
Exactly. Remember, they own the media, guys. With no TV yet. TV didn't exist. They own the newspapers. That's why they own the media today. Like social media is the media today. They own it all. So when you try to tell the truth, they shut it down. So when Butler said these motherfuckers tried to overthrow the government, that was never told in any goddamn newspaper because they own the newspapers. They own them. Just like today they own nobody really reads the newspaper today. So they own the news, social media, and still your TV platforms. But TV's going out because everybody knows the news is a lie. So they own the means of knowledge and also your schools. All your schools were created by these wicked ass bastards. And this is globally. Your schools were created by these wicked ass bastards to teach you fake and false history. So you'd never wake up to understand war's a racket. These bankers, these banker families, these are all families that he told you. They're the ones make money off of going in. They make the fake terrorists. They make the fake wars. All wars are fake, guys. They're all fake, like the Syria, all fake. Because they got something, they want it, and they're going to go get it. But they'll tell the news media, oh, you know, this guy's a terrorist. We must go attack him. Osama bin Laden did 9/11. They did 9/11. But they know you're too stupid. I knew Emilu fucking did it. I was in the Marine Corps. Look, okay. I get what the fuck's happened. Ain't nobody in no fucking dirty cave. But like I told Joby, most Americans are stupid. You run around beating up Muslims and shit, knocking them out. Because the damn news told me, Joby said, propaganda news said, you dirty Muslims attacked America and killed Americans. So white people run around knocking Muslims. What are you? You a Muslim? Are you a Muslim? Yes, Allah be praised. Come get this work, motherfucker. So all around America. Go ahead, Joe. Finish it. Wrap it up, Joe. Wrap it up.
Was not made available to the public. It was considered too explosive. In essence, Butler had exposed the fact that
it was considered too explosive.
Policy
to who?
They
too explosive to the power.
All the way to the White House. And
exactly.
The people paid for it with their lives. Those implicated laughed off Butler's claims. Evidence of the validity of Butler's testimony was not released until the 21st century, when the committee's papers were published in the public domain. No one was prosecuted in connection to the plot. What is now known was that Major General Smedley Butler, a critic of unrestricted capitalism, was also a staunch opponent of militarized socialism, once again becoming a hero when he stood up to the wealthiest and most powerful men in the country who wanted to overthrow a president. Butler also made many
the most powerful people in the fucking world. Not the country, the fucking world. The most powerful people in the world.
Black and Native Americans should have all the rights of whites, and that should include no discrimination in society or the military.
They like
Smedley
that.
Butler died on June 21st, 1940. His reputation as a warrior and patriot intact, as was his legacy of service to the nation and the Constitution.
Right before World War II started. Another fake war that they were starting. He dies and another war starts called World War II. The same fake shit with Hitler, the same people were stealing shit. And it all was because Hitler, after World War I, he lost the lands in Africa. Remember, Hitler said, okay. Remember, they lost Namibia. The Germans are still in Namibia. They still own all the land. They still in Tanzania. But after World War I, Germany supposedly lost its satellites, its colonies in Africa. And so Hitler said, fuck that. You think you other white people gonna keep the riches of Africa away from me? These niggas belong to me. So I'm gonna start taking the rest of Europe then, goddammit. If I can't have these niggas, I'm gonna take Europe. And that was the scam. Because he was backed by the Rothschild family. Okay? Because they paid for his rise. How did Germany get war? Germany was ruined after World War I. How did Germany become a military might in World War II? And they were destroyed in World War I. Because of Rothschild money. And there's still some more shit.
Well,
but the only thing good came out of World War II was they got a lot of colonized Africans who always scared of white people, thought they were gods, fucked up in their head, were forced to go fight in World War II. And so they said, hey, this white man does die. That's when you get the Mau Mau coming back into Kenya and other people come back in other African countries and start fighting to get the white man out of Africa. That's the only good side effect that World War II had. It woke these scared-ass Negroes up. And so, oh, they died like everybody else? Yeah, dummy. Yeah, they're not a god. So, as you see, the fighters from Kenya who were forced to go fight in World War II get blown up and shit, now came back and started fighting.
But as we get to wind up or closer to winding up, I want to share also this video right here as we talk about all these wars. They need to stay in their lane, they need to stay literally where they belong, not in Africa, because I don't understand why you want to be surrounded by poor people because you call us poor. I understand why you want to be in a shitty hole, Stay where you belong, where you believe it's nice.
Because Africans, well, they want to steal our Africa and live in Europe as they stole.
They need to stay in their lane. So we have, that is, I think last year, there's a show I did and I reported of African Americans and the Caribbeans who are in Ghana got their citizenship. And more are also getting citizenship. We've seen Nana Akofu, of course, opening also the borders to all Africans who have passports. But I didn't know that actually also white people, we have over 300 white people who gained citizenship in Ghana. And this is driving
Wow, this is crazy. See, exactly. I knew Kofi, I knew that Kofi Doodle Dada nigga was always some bullshit. Always some bullshit with this nigga. Always. Always. You out your fucking mind. You can't go to Europe and get no shit. Always some backward ass nigga shit. Always.
And the first comment I'm seeing here is, so nobody put an immediate stop to this because no African can do this. We barely, like when you go outside the continent, you see, the racism is the first thing you're gonna face. Of course, you're not accepted there. You're gonna be treated like shit. So why are they getting citizenship over here?
Because the African mind is still fucked up in the head. That's why.
And we gotta stop this bullshit. You love Ghana bullshit. Go to your country.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
They're gonna bring the same colonizers back in. They're gonna steal your land. That's what they doing in South Africa. So that, see, when they get them in and these martyrs and they say, oh, now we must split the country up. We must have our own part away from you niggas. And we've been here. We're now Canadians. Same thing they did with the fake Indians in Kenya. We're now Canadians. We're entitled to the country. And we want half the country. We're going to go to war. We don't want you niggas in this part of Ghana like they do in South Africa, you fucking morons.
Is the reason why white people are coming for the Ghanaian citizenship. I don't know. This is what I don't know. And I was shocked to see huge number of whites.
Why don't you know, stupid?
And Ghana gave it to them. Guys.
This is the ignorance of Africa. They all say, yay! That's the love. This the brainwashing, the fucked up in the head. They're not giving you black people no damn citizenship nowhere in Europe.
Yeah, so this is crazy. It needs to stop. We can't keep
This
on
is gonna,
accepting.
not gonna stop. There's gonna be a war. I'm gonna tell you right now. There's gonna be a war in Ghana. White people gonna get big enough. They gonna say they want half the country. I'm just letting you know now. I told you, niggas, don't go to Ghana. I told you. These niggas' heads in Ghana are too fucked up. Told you. They're too backward. They're too retarded. This is dangerous. I'm telling you what's gonna happen. I'm telling you what's gonna happen. White people are gonna want it because they want to want shit. What they do. Ghana's still wealthy, but it's not wealthy for black people. So when they start coming, they're going to say, we want the real wealth for us. And we want you niggas out of this part of Ghana. There's going to be a war. You're like, well, we don't understand. We pray to the same God.
South
Yeah, but fuck all that.
The white South Africans even barely have citizenship or whatever they call themselves. And they're bragging about the lands and how they want to beat black people who literally claim back their lands. Now you tell me people who have gotten citizenship, what can they do?
It's the same thing. It's gonna be the same. Exactly, Joe. It's gonna be the same thing. Exactly. You ain't gotta be a rocket scientist or somebody can tell the future. You know that's what's gonna happen, Joe.
Man, this is unacceptable. Personally,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Acceptable. We can't be this gullible. We can't just be this easy to just convince like that. We need to start manning up. We need to start literally just, I'd say man up, man, because we're dealing with men as leaders. They need to man up. You need to understand. You need to stop being a weakling.
Exactly right. Exactly. Glad you said that, Joby. Talk about manning up. Stop being a weakling. I couldn't have said it more better than that. And that's just a fact. Whether you'd like to hear that or not, that's just the truth.
It is so sad. But as we wind up, let me go through the comments. I see so many comments from Rumble Beachwood. Shout out to Jiba Jaba. I see you. Hope you're doing amazing. I did watch the manufactured consent, by the way.
Oh, you did watch it? I know it was a movie.
It's a documentary on YouTube.
Okay. I didn't know.
So
Okay.
yeah, I watched one and I understood everything literally. But thank you so much. Good evening from our end, or good afternoon, literally. Good morning, Jiba Jaba. I see you're saying that you gotta wash the stuff before wearing. That is on the second-hand clothes. Yeah, I learned the hard way because I've seen skin, and I was like, nah, I don't wanna be looking like this. My neck. I stopped. And I also see you saying that wool and cotton is the best. I agree with you, but you
Exactly, because it's natural fibers. Exactly. People being walking around in oil and shit all doesn't breathe, causes disease. We don't even know none of this stuff. Polyester.
I also see it says they took their reggae house music and ran. That is the Jamaican troops.
Yeah, that's right. They said we're out of here.
Haiti has the world's largest deposit of molybdenum.
Yeah. They got mountains of that shit. That's why they're there. They got mountains of that shit in Haiti. Haiti's always been wealthy. As Smedley Butler told you, I was in Haiti stealing their money. Then when they tell you news, and you got these moronic ass Negroes in Kenya. Oh, we're gonna help the Haitians by killing them and putting them down. That's what white power, Moran. That's what the bankers.
The U.S. dropped the 10 million bounty on the new Syria leader. He's okay now and not a terrorist.
Yeah, he's not a terrorist no more because they got Syria now. Isn't that amazing? He's not a terrorist anymore, and now he's got the middle part of Syria. He don't got all of it because remember they balkanized it. Syria's not Syria no more. You got the Israelis in the southwest. You got the Americans in the northeast. You got the Turks in the north, and you got him in the middle. It's not a country. They balkanized it. So what they broke it apart. Go ahead, Joe.
I also see he says that's a good book. War is a Racket. It's a quick read.
It is.
Thank you. I'll appreciate. Yeah, that is something nice I've learned of course today about because I remember Keith, of course, explaining it all the way down, and that has been a good short documentary to just also expound everything further. So thank you. I also see he says he's addressing the Bonus Army protest in that clip. I also see he says Forgotten History is a pretty good channel. Okay, I'll check it out. That's the channel I've shared. I also see he says United Fruit Company was behind these conflicts in the Caribbean and Latin America.
Yeah.
Is let's Jimmy Diamond and Billy Gates and Elon and Vivek suit up and fight. And also says remember the main was the war cry.
Yeah, that was the Spanish. That was the Spanish American War. I forgot. That's another false flag. It's right. Every war America been in has been a lie. And then they got, since they're on the media, back in the newspapers, they would say, "Oh, we must go fight for our justice," and people are like, "Yeah," and it was a lie. Fight for the main in Spain. But we took over half of Spain and Philippines. Then World War One, the Lusitania. World War Two, Pearl Harbor. Vietnam. Gulf of Tonkin, Iraq and Iraqi wars, and Afghanistan 9/11, all lies, all of it. Go ahead, Joker, you got it.
So says history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. Yesterday.
That's all rhyme. Yep.
He also says 3 generations they'll take over Ghana. Man, it's crazy.
Yep.
Ghanaians
Yep. They sure will. They sure will. 3 generations they'll take over. They'll take it over. And the white people say, we brought them in with love and kindness. White people say, so what? Fuck all that shit you're talking. You dumb nigga. The country now belongs to us.
I can't wait when Kenyans wake up and realize we need to also kick out the Indians. Like, get out.
Yeah.
Because that is the same thing Uhuru Kenyatta or Ruto did, one of them before.
That was Jomo. Jomo was kicking them out.
Yeah, okay, but I don't know. That's something. I don't know if it's Uhuru or Ruto who brought them, of course, and made them our 34th tribe. For the 44th tribe, 48th.
That was Jomo kicking them out, and the white man said, "You bet not kick him out. You are a puppet. You do what you're told to do." So, yes, master.
John was going to say in my church days, they say that Haiti war torn and messed up because God was punishing them for practicing.
Exactly, for voodoo. That's what I told. That's the propaganda. Them going back to African spirituality was the reason they were getting fucked up, because they turned away from Jesus. And I told you, Joby showed you, they didn't turn from Jesus. 85% of the country is Jesus. So that was another lie. They didn't turn to no damn African spirituality. I know the Haitians, they all down in fucking Tampa and Miami. Them motherfuckers are Christians. That island's a Christian island. That's the bullshit they tell you. Oh, them Haitians are fucked up because they turned their back on Jesus and went back to their African bullshit, which is a lie. Them motherfuckers still worship Jesus and getting fucked up.
We also have the white test that is on BitChute, who says niggas fucked up a Haiti. You are stupid monkeys. You are dumb as fuck. You never gave any bull. Never built anything. You forgot effing because he also says niggas are fucking literal retards. Take your asses back to Africa and starve your lazy damn sack of shit. Damn. Wow.
That's what you're gonna get in fucking Ghana. That's who they are.
Damn.
See when they don't have to censor themselves, they don't censor. I love it. That's who they really are. Okay? And that's what you're gonna get in Ghana, you fucking morons.
So yes, family, we're coming to the end of today's conversation. It's been amazing.
Somebody said shit. That's right. That's the real.
It's crazy. What? These comments are so low. Like what?
Yeah.
What? But
and they always call you stupid. They always go to the stupid. You Africans are dumb, low IQ, and you never built nothing. Even though Africans are the builders of civilization, African people never build shit, Joe. Every time you see that, every time, and it's always go back to Africa when these motherfuckers are from Europe. Bitch, go back to Europe, bitch. Do that.
We are the inventors of everything, including your goddamn life, white people. So stop playing. Stop playing with us, okay? You breathe in because we exist, all right?
Yeah, right. All right. So, ask him where do you come from, white man? Where you come from? You know it, because you know it ain't no evolution. That's a lie. Where do you fucking come from? Come in with your racism. Where you come from? I go. Well, we don't really. Where you come? We don't really know. We know where you come from. Where you come from? God damn it.
The caveman. That's why I wrote the
Yeah.
topic, the caveman. Why
Right.
people need to stay in their land. That is the cave.
All right.
Man.
You're the cave. Yeah, exactly. Where do you think the term caveman came from? There are no caves in Africa. You were the caveman. Where do you think the term caveman came from? Came from you. You lived in caves. These are facts. That's why it's called a caveman. That's you, moron. Go ahead. Yeah.
As Ziba says, I love when you also love the racist comments. You also like Keith. God damn.
I love them. So Joey being an African, she's not used to them because she didn't really know how deep the racism goes. I love them because I love all. I hate all this fakeness. That fake shit that Iraton said. Well, can we all get together and can we all? Not everybody. No, fuck that. They all like that. They just don't want to tell your stupid ass that. But Joby was on vacation. I think it's the first or second. Joby went to the damn swimming pool owned by a white dude and just asked a question in her own country and was told to get the hell out the damn swimming pool.
It's crazy. I was like, I'm never going back there again. It's a good place. But man, you're gonna make me beat you up, and you are a cracker. I'm gonna end up in jail, like because of you. So no.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. Let me save myself and just walk out.
Yeah. So why don't that white man go back to Europe? Why the fuck is he in Africa? Because the Africans have allowed these people to be in there. Because the African, unlike you, is loving. He's not racist. That's not the African's nature to be racist. But they better start knowing your enemy you're dealing with. Imagine Joby's in Africa being told to get out of the damn swimming pool in her goddamn country. You crazy?
The time is coming, but much love.
Much love.
Much love. Asanteni sana for tuning in. It's been an amazing show. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope you've learned something. And of course, see you guys later on.
We gotta make sure Airtime reads these damn comments. She's like, oh, everybody's so much love and everything's so good. Say, you nigga bitch.
Too much love. See you guys later on the Tubonge show. Join us on Rumble. That is where we shall be. We shall be having the show on Rumble, and then of course later tonight on the Africa Today show as we expand on much more of these conversations. Peace. Sign out.
I've been trying to